Hey, this is PJ with CLK Supplies and welcome to How to Get It Done 1 Minute Locksmith Tips. Do you have an automatic high security key machine similar to this? If so, you know that they were meant to cut all brass keys, right? But it's becoming more and more popular to see a lot of hard metal keys. I want to talk about two settings that you can change on virtually any automatic high security key machine like this to cut those hard metal keys more efficiently. Now, the first setting is going to be the steps, right? Now, as what they mean by steps is actually how many passes on each side of the key is it going to take in order to cut the key, right? Typically, you're going to see 2 on the standard machine. What that means is that the cutter is going to do 2 passes down each side of the key to cut it to all the depths. Is what you want to do is you want to up that value. You want to switch it to, let's say, 4 or 5. You want to make it so it's making 4 or 5 passes on each side to cut the key. Now, will that add more time? Absolutely. At the same time, though, it's going to allow the cutter just to cut a little bit, or like 1 depth at a time on each pass. And that's going to really reduce the amount of stress put on that cutter. Now, the second setting you want to try to find is the cutting speed, right? Now, I'm not talking about the speed of the actual cutter spinning. I'm talking about the speed at which it's cutting. And what that is that's how fast is the jaw moving on the cutter cutting the key. And it's what you're going to want to do is you want to slow it down between 10 to 20% when you cut hard metal keys, all right? So what's going to happen is we're going to change the amount of passes that the cutter is going to take to cut the key, and then we're also going to change the speed at which it's doing it. So it's really going to allow the cutter to cut, and it's not going to force or press anything, which should hopefully allow your cutter to last longer. So those are the 2 settings I recommend you try changing and playing with a little bit in order to cut those hard metal high security keys more successfully. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.